Happy Sunday evening, everyone, and welcome into Ion Market. Couple of things to talk about today. We're going to jump right into it, and we're not going to go through the best selling because I've just not seen any changes in the past couple of days, and so it just feels like we'd be discussing things we discussed in the last market with no real differences. That being said, though, Ancient Guardians came out on Friday to, mediocre fanfare. It's got some cool collector rares and some neat archetypes, but nothing that's really going to shake things up. And we've already seen a couple buyouts either in that set itself or as a result of that set, which I think is kind of insane, but that's the way the market goes. So we'll take a look at that as well as a few other random loose ends and a couple of penny stocks too, which we're going to start off with today, as Ghost from the Past seems to be basically bottomed out. Putting Sasiaur from Ghost from the Past, the Medolce card, is about $2 right now, give or take. I do think this is a really good pickup at that price if you don't have any, just to have a set. I think it's going to age really well, being the only foil variant of the card. Generally speaking, also the only, real reprinting of the card other than the Savage Strike Megatin combo, and I don't see it going anywhere else. But the fact that it's the highest rarity and actually a good card in the deck that will probably see use. People love Medolce. Whether or not they're actually good is an entirely different conversation. They've had, their periods of up and down and hype, but, they get more support or something. You could easily look to this as something that will age well over time, because we've seen it with Hootcake, we've seen it with Pudding Cess, and we've seen it with Messengelato. All of the Medolce cards seem to do well as they age, so really low price on that. It's kind of bottomed out. Might be worth picking up a few. Phantom Knight's Fogblade is another one from Ghost from the Past that is really cheap. They're about $1.75, and if you combine shipping, you can get them right around that price. This is just a really good trap that comes in and out of formats and has historically risen for every copy that it has after that copy comes out, including the common. And you can't even see the Ghost from the Past cut off over here, but the Ultra from Fogblade from Wing Raiders, but now there's two Ultras, so a little bit less. It really only has the quote-unquote original print working for it. And of course the secret rare from Battles of Legend Relentless Revenge is about $12, $11. So just some food for thought there on the Ultra, as it is $1.50, and if you don't have this, you can get a playset for just around $5, so it's not a bad thing to look at now. Another one is Heraldic Seal of Creation from Ghost from the Past. I've talked a lot about this card. I think it's a really, really good card to have, because I just think long term there will be ways to utilize it. And they are about 50 cents right now, especially if you combine shipping. I would absolutely recommend, and I mean, as much as I always put the disclaimer out there, I'm not a financial advisor. Make all your decisions based on what's best for you. I have I have two play sets of this. One for myself to have, and one for the off chance that it turns out to be a decent value down the line. But at 50 cents, I mean, it's really silly to not have just a playset of this, just in case you ever want to play it, or if it does start to see value. You can turn any Dragon Xyz monster into a Tum, and then you can pull a dragon from the deck with a Tum, so just a really, really good card, and it does have benefits for Hieratics as well, with its own graveyard effect, so just multiple reasons to look at as a decent option. A couple of legacy buyouts, if you will. Wind Up Zenmine's Secret Rare has been going up for a while. The first editions are about $45, give or take, right now. Obviously an iconic card back in the day in Rescue Rabbit, format with Macro Rabbit and Wind-Ups and Inzectors, so on and so forth. This card was played in everything because of how good it was. I think people are looking towards those legacy formats more and more. It's not a great card anymore. It is a lot easier to out because there is non-destroying removal. But it's pretty much cleared out as far as any cheap or accessible copies at $45 for the Near Mint First Ed and $30, give or take, for the Near Mint Unlimited. But it's not the only one. It is joined by number 101 Silent Honor Arc. I don't know if that's legacy format or what, but $60 for the cheapest Near Mint First Ed. There are no Unlimiteds in stock, so it does look like this one got cleared relatively recently. As you see, the market price prior to that was $20.88. Behind my little market there, you see that. I've always thought it was a really awesome card. The ulti was super expensive back in the day, and this card was broken. It was basically a staple for the longest time, and even today it's not like a terrible card, but it's just outclassed. But if you're interested in that type of thing, or you have them, you might want to look to see if you can make a sale if it's something you're interested in, unless you want to keep it for legacy formats, like I said, because it is up, up, up. And another one trending in that same direction, Evil Swarm Exciton Knight, the secret rare from Legacy of the Valiant. First Eds are around $15. Now this one does have a Mega Pack alternate, and obviously it doesn't have an quote-unquote ultimate rare. But being the way we're seeing a lot of cards from the Rabbit era trending, this could be a decent card to pick up if it's something you don't have and you think you might be interested in. If it were to see that same trend as the other cards have. But $15 isn't terrible for a card that used to be $150. So if you played through that format and remember this, it's not, you know, crazy shocking to think we could see it rise a bit more over time. And here's a really weird buyout. Rainbow Kuriboh has just been steadily going up in price. Unlimiteds are cheap, but first eds are not. There are only 2 available. There's one for $20, which is obviously a good deal, and I think more indicative of its real price, considering the market price is like $1.80. But the other one's going here for $98. Probably just waiting on the buyout dust to settle. Those are the only 2 near mints, so $20 is what we're looking at right now. If you have these in bulk or whatever, you want to pull them out and see if you can make a sale. If not, you know, the unlims are only $3, but I don't think the unlimiteds have a ton of room to go anywhere. Obviously, this card does have a printing in the advent calendar from last year, which also has super low quantities. And then it was a starter deck common a while back. So that's your alternatives, your options for Rainbow Kuriboh. Just a really cool card in general. It was originally in the Monarch structure deck as a common. That's where it came out. So, yeah. The secret rare first ed, though, aging well. Speaking of structure decks and buyouts, Arima the Wicked Warden, I think John covered this on House of Champs Market Watch the other day. It was up to like $15, $20. It's dropped back down pretty hard, of about $7. It looks like people are rushing to make a sale for what was pretty much like a $1.50 card, but still, you know, around the $10 mark for what's here. It's a decent card. I think this deck should be re-waved. I think, you know, they should probably make another accessible printing of it. But Lilith is $5. Diabolos is obviously like 7 and change, but I believe Diabolos got... No, he didn't. I thought he was in maximum gold. I know people talked about it at one point, but it looks like it didn't come to fruition, for what that's worth. And then, of course, Deepsea Aria, secret rare from Eternity Code, is up, $20. A lot of listings here. This was like a $6 card, and then it got bought out. I mean, reading it basically tells you all you need to know. It's an insanely good card that's like a Rhoda for water decks, but less... Almost has like additional benefits because it can search a Sea Serpent, but it also lets you banish a water. So if you're playing Mooling Glacier, you can do graveyard manipulation. This is just an insanely good card, but I do think it's set for the Megatins more than likely, which is why this buyout is questionable. I guess we'll see where it goes in terms of trends, but if you have them, you know, you might want them for Sardic because they will be played in that deck. But if you don't plan on using them for that, then I'd say clear them out. Neptibus is also going in that same direction, though not quite there yet. $7 for the Near Mint First Ed from Breakers of Shadow. Does have a Mega Pack reprint as well, which is around $5. I would say spend the extra couple bucks and go with the original print. They typically just age better, so that would be the way to go on that. Snake Rain Rare is down a bunch because the reprint has come out, so it looks like for the Rare it is about, well, I'm trying to find the First Ed ones again. About $8. They were up a lot more prior to the reprint announcement, and just wait on this. You'll see it settle even more. Realistically speaking, too, the new one is also a rare, so the competition is not as drastic. The collector's rare is going to be what people are chasing after if they want a high rarity version. Lastly, for the main event segments of today, Ancient Guardian stuff. Ogdoadic Water Lily. This card was like 50 cents on release day. I had some in my cart, and then they got bought out while I was buying them. It's up to about $2.10, give or take. Looks like it's going to be the Chaos Space type card of this set over time. It's a really decent generic card for reptiles. Send a reptile from your deck to the graveyard. Then if you have 5 or more, you can also special summon one. This isn't too hard to do with Snake Rain, so unless Snake Rain gets hit or something, it does seem like it's going to have some long-term potential. These are, like I said, about $2.50, and it's that star for value. It doesn't shock me that this has gone up a little bit. Sardic Polari is up a ton. It was like $6 on release day, and now it is about $13. As you guys know, I did pull one. Pretty happy to see the price rise, but it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. It hasn't even done anything yet. It's a cool card. I think it's definitely a neat deck that may be a little overlooked early on, but yeah, I mean, if you were interested in picking this stuff up and didn't get the bundles early or buy in at 6, you know, you're seeing pretty high premiums at the moment. Speaking of high premiums, Aaron the Ogdoadic King is $15. Very limited numbers. This was about 8 to 9 the other day, so not a double per se, but it's up about 50%. as people chase after some of this stuff, and the set is star for value. I'd say wait. I think it'll go back down a little bit, but what do I know? And then, of course, the Ogdoadic Queen is right around that same ballpark, $15. This is a really good card, too. Just, again, super limited quantities with 9 listings. If you bought them cheap or bought the deck cores early, you could be sitting pretty right now. If not, you're going to be paying a little bit more than I think a lot of people would have thought for these, unless you, like, give it a little bit of time. And finally, for today's Ion Market, Ogdoadic Overlord Abyss. This card was $10. It is now $27. It is almost 30. It has been going up all weekend. I don't know where it stops. I gotta imagine it stops somewhere, but also it may settle around 25 bucks because this set is starved for value outside of collector rares, and this is an insanely good card that doesn't rely at all on the reptile archetype in order to be able to use it. So just some food for thought on this one. If you waited to buy this because you're smart and thought, hey, I'm gonna wait because these are gonna settle as they should, you know, I don't think you're dumb for that. I did the same thing. I don't have any. I have one of these right now. I don't have 3, and I'm not paying 30 for them at the moment, so we'll see where they go, but there's been some definite movement in terms of the Overlord stuff, the Ogdoadic stuff, and even some of the Sardic stuff for Ancient Guardians just early on as the set, you know, comes to fruition and really starts to get settled in its value. So just wanted to bring that to your guys' attention. Not too much range on the collector's rare in terms of any changes, but top 4 cards of the set here are all cards that were very cheap couple days ago. Cooley still actually is down. Big Dipper's right around where it was, and then the rest is kind of falling into place. So yeah, that's going to do it for today's Ion Market. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think of Ancient Guardians, and if you think these price trends are going to last, or if you think they might settle back out. Meanwhile, I will see you guys in the next video.